Next chapter is carbon and its compounds. Carbon is a non-metallic element. Its atomic number is 6. Its symbol is capital C. The amount of carbon in the atmosphere and the Earth's crust is very less. Earth's crust contains 0.02% carbon in the form of minerals such as carbonates, hydrogen carbonates, coal, and petroleum. The atmosphere contains only 0.03% of carbon in the form of carbon dioxide. In spite of being present in such a small quantity, carbon is an extremely important element. All living things, plants and animals, are made up of carbon based compounds known as organic compounds. The atomic number of carbon is 6, so it has 2 electrons in the first shell and 4 in the second, or say outermost shell. The valency of carbon is 4, that is 4 electrons in its outermost shell, makes carbon quite a unique element. To complete the octet configuration, carbon either needs to lose 4 electrons or gain 4 electrons, both of which are not possible. Hence, carbon joins with other elements by sharing electrons and forming covalent bonds. Next topic is bonding in carbon. The atomic number of carbon is 6. Hence, there are 2 electrons in the first shell and 4 in the outermost shell. The reactivity of an element is explained by its tendency to attain a completely filled outer shell to attain noble gas configuration. Elements forming ionic compounds achieve noble gas configuration by either losing or gaining electrons from the outermost shell. The case of carbon is different since it has 4 electrons in its outermost shell. Carbon has to gain or lose 4 electrons to attain noble gas configuration. The problem to do this is discussed below. Carbon can gain 4 electrons to form C4 minus anion. If carbon does this, it will be difficult for the nucleus with 6 protons to hold 10 electrons, that is 4 extra electrons. Second, carbon can lose 4 electrons to form C4 plus cation. This would require a large amount of energy to remove 4 electrons, leaving behind a carbon cation with 6 protons in its nucleus holding on to just 2 electrons. So what is the solution for this? To overcome these problems, carbon neither accepts nor gains but shares its valence electrons with other atoms of carbon or with the atoms of other elements and attain noble gas configuration. The bond formed by sharing of electron in this manner is known as covalent bond. Not only carbon but many other elements form molecules by sharing electrons and forming covalent bonds. Next topic is covalent bond and compounds. Covalent compounds consist of molecules which are groups of atoms in which one or few pairs of atoms share the electrons by bonding. In ionic bond, elements develop bonds by gaining or losing electron, but in covalent bonds, elements develop bonds by sharing electrons. For example, 2 atoms of hydrogen, each of them having 1 electron, share their electrons of the outermost orbit by forming a covalent bond and attain dual closed shell configuration of their nearby inert element helium. Hereby, both the hydrogen atoms jointly share the electrons for becoming inert and stable. Only those elements that are present in the outermost orbit of the atoms take part in the bond formation. The electron pair that takes part in sharing is known as bonding electron pair or bond electron pair. Now we will study the covalent bonding in hydrogen molecule. The atomic number of hydrogen is 1, and so hydrogen atom possesses 1 electron. Hydrogen atom requires 1 more electron to achieve the closed shell configuration of nearly inert element helium. Hence, 2 atoms of hydrogen, each having 1 electron, will share their 1 electron by forming a covalent bond, thus giving rise to a hydrogen molecule. Both these atoms will attain dual closed shell configuration like that of helium. The electron pair that takes part in sharing is known as the bonding electron pair. Now next is covalent bonding in oxygen. The atomic number of oxygen is 8, and so its electronic configuration is 2, 6. Since the valency of oxygen is 2, each oxygen atom will share 2 electrons from the outermost orbit to complete the octet configuration. Hence, 2 oxygen atoms will share 2 electrons with each other, form double covalent bond, will attain octet configuration and will form one oxygen molecule. Because of the double covalent bond, this compound is called divalent compound. Next topic is covalent bonding in nitrogen. The atomic number of nitrogen is 7, and so its electronic configuration is 2, 5. Since the valency of nitrogen is 3, each nitrogen atom will share 3 electrons from its outermost orbit to complete octet configuration. Hence, 2 nitrogen atoms will share 3 electrons with each other and form triple covalent bond, attain octet configuration and form nitrogen molecule. Because of the triple covalent bond, this compound is called trivalent compound. Now, the properties of covalent compounds. First, physical nature. Covalent compounds exist in all the 3 forms, that is solid, liquid and gas. Second, melting and boiling point. Covalent bonds of compounds are weaker as compared to ionic bonds. Hence, in general, covalent compounds have lower melting and boiling points. Electrical conductivity. Compounds having covalent bonds do not have ions or free electrons that conduct electricity. Hence, covalent compounds do not form strong electrolytes, and so they are not very good conductors of electricity. Next topic is versatile nature of carbon. A very large number of things around us is made up of carbon compounds. Our food such as grains, pulses, tea, coffee, sugar, fruits, etc. is made up of carbon compounds. Other things like cotton, silk, wool, polyester, nylon, etc. are also made up of carbon. Fuels like LPG, CNG, petrol, kerosene, etc. also contain carbon compounds. All living beings, plants and animals are made up of carbon compounds. Chemists and scientists recently estimated that there are at least 3 million carbon compounds known to us. It is shocking that this is far more than the compounds formed by all the elements put together. The 2 factors notice in the case of carbon, we will be taking it one by one. Carbon has a unique ability to bond with other atoms of carbon. This unique property is called catenation. A carbon atom forms covalent bond with other carbon atoms through normal chain, branch chain or cyclic chain. Owing to such property of joining with several carbon atoms, large molecules are formed. If carbon atom is joined with another carbon atom with the help of only single bond, then the compound form is called saturated compound. If carbon atom is linked with other carbon atom via double or triple bond, then the compounds formed are known as unsaturated compound. The carbon-carbon bond is very strong and hence stable. This gives rise to a large number of compounds with several carbon atoms linked with each other. Now, important give reason why carbon is called tetravalent. The valency of carbon is 4. That is, carbon has 4 electrons in the outermost shell. Hence, carbon is called tetravalent. Since the valency of carbon is 4, it is capable of bonding with 4 other atoms of carbon or some monovalent atoms, that is having 1 valence. This way, carbon forms compounds with oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur, chlorine and many other elements and gives us several compounds. Topic is saturated and unsaturated carbon compounds. What is meant by hydrocarbons? Compounds containing hydrogen and carbon are called hydrocarbons. In organic chemistry, hydrocarbons are considered to be the simplest organic compounds. The hydrocarbons are classified on the basis of the number of covalent bonds between carbon-carbon atoms. Thus, on the basis of covalent bonds, hydrocarbons can be classified into 2: saturated hydrocarbons and unsaturated hydrocarbons. First of all, we will see saturated hydrocarbons. These hydrocarbons have single covalent bond between their carbon atoms. Alkanes are the main class of saturated hydrocarbons. Alkanes have single covalent bonds between their carbon atoms. Hydrocarbons under alkanes have suffix ane. Methane, propane, butane, etc. are alkanes. The general formula for alkanes is CnH2n plus 2, where N is the number of carbon atoms. I repeat, the general formula for alkanes is CnH2n plus 2, where N is the number of carbon atoms. The next is unsaturated hydrocarbon. These hydrocarbons have either double or triple covalent bonds between their carbon atoms. Alkenes and alkynes are the main classes of unsaturated hydrocarbons. Alkenes have double, whereas alkynes have triple covalent bonds between their carbon atoms. Hydrocarbons under alkenes have suffix ene and those under alkynes have suffix yne. Ethene, propene, butene are the examples of alkenes, whereas ethyne, propyne, butane, etc. are the example of alkynes. General formula for alkenes is CnH2n and that of alkynes is CnH2n minus 2, where N is the number of carbon atoms. Next topic is chains, branches and rings. Here in this table we can see the structure of the alkene groups: methane CH4, ethane C2H6, propane C3H8, butane C4H10, pentane C5H12, hexane C6H14. Here you can see the structures along with that. Next is isomers and isomerism. Property of catenation possessed by carbon give rise to large number of compounds with different structural formula and different physical properties. Organic compounds that have same molecular formula but different structural formula are called isomers, and the phenomenon is called isomerism. Iso indicates a branched chain where N indicates normal, a straight chain structure. As the number of carbon atoms increase in a chain, the number of isomers also increases. Here you can see the structure of normal butane and isobutane. What is the characteristics of isomers? Isomers have same molecular formula but different structural formula. Isomers have different melting and boiling points. They have different chemical properties. Here you can see the structure of cyclohexane and benzene. Next topic is functional groups. An atom or a group of atoms responsible for chemical behavior of the parent molecule is called a functional group. Different molecules that contain same kind of functional group or groups undergo similar reactions. By learning the properties of these functional groups, we can study and understand properties of many organic compounds. Saturated hydrocarbons, alkanes generally do not react, but unsaturated hydrocarbons, that is alkenes and alkynes, attach with various functional groups and are considered quite reactive. Example, OH, that is hydroxyl, or say alcohol, COOH, that is carboxylic acid, are the two functional groups. Now ethane is an alkaline and its formula is C2H6. Ethanol or ethyl alcohol is an alcohol and its formula is C2H5OH. Similarly, ethanoic acid is an acid and its formula is CH3COOH. The number of carbon atoms in ethane, ethanol and ethanoic acid are same. Yet all the three compounds show different physical and chemical properties because ethane has no functional group. Ethanol contains functional group alcohol, whereas ethanoic acid consists of another functional group called carboxylic group. Properties of organic compounds also depends on the intermolecular forces associated with them. In this table, we can see the different functional group and the formula of it with the compounds. Next topic is homologous series. The series of organic compounds in which each compound differs from its previous or later compound by CH2 is called homologous series. For example, methane CH4, ethane C2H6 and propane C3H8 are the first three members of the alkane series. Hence, there is a constant difference of CH2 between a compound and its previous or later compound. Characteristics of homologous series. Each member of the series can be expressed by a general formula. For example, the general formula of alkane series of hydrocarbons is CnH2n plus 2. The difference in molecular formula between two successive members of the series of homologous compound is CH2. Difference between molecular masses of two successive members of a series is 14U. Same prefix or suffix is applied to the nomenclature of each member of the series. For example, suffix ane is put to each member of the alkane series. As the number of carbon and hydrogen increases in the series, the molecular mass of the compound also increases. This results in the gradual change in the physical properties such as boiling point, melting point, density, solubility, etc., which are based on the molecular masses of the members. Next topic, nomenclature of carbon compounds. IUPAC name. Organic compounds or hydrocarbons have two names, common name and IUPAC name. IUPAC names are the names given by IUPAC, that is International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. I repeat, International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. These names are also called IUPAC nomenclature. Example, methyl alcohol is an alcohol formed from methane. Methyl alcohol is the common name, but IUPAC name is methanol. Other examples are formic acid, IUPAC name methanoic acid. Methyl chloride, IUPAC name chloromethane. The steps for naming carbon compounds. Identify the number of carbon atoms in the compound. First, if the compound is a saturated hydrocarbon with 3 carbon atoms and without any functional group, it will belong to the alkane series and its name would be propane. If there is a functional group present, it will be indicated with either a prefix or a suffix. For example, C3H7OH has 3 carbon atoms, so it is propane, but it has a functional group OH, alcohol, so the name of the compound is propanol. As discussed in point 2, if the name of the functional group is to be given as suffix, the name of the carbon chain is modified by replacing the letter E with proper suffix. For example, a 3 carbon chain with a ketone functional group would be named in the following manner: propane, that is propane, propan plus 1, that is propanon. If the carbon chain is unsaturated, the final ANE in the name of the carbon chain is replaced by ENE or YNE. For example, a 3 carbon chain with double bond would be called propene, and if it is a triple bond, it is called propyne. Next topic, soaps and detergents. First of all, soap. Soap is a sodium or potassium salt of fatty acid. Sodium salt is present in washing soaps and potassium salt is present in bathing soaps. Acid gives glycerol and ester compounds which are present in animal fat and vegetable oil. Preparation of soap. Vegetable oil or animal fat, when heated with sodium hydroxide, gives out fatty acid and glycerol. This process is called saponification. I repeat, when vegetable oil or animal fat, when heated with sodium hydroxide, it gives out fatty acid and glycerol. This process is called saponification. In soap, the functional group sodium carboxylate is attached to the hydrocarbon. Now, detergents. The chemical substance used to remove dirt stuck on the surface of the clothes, example, etc., and which does not harm the surface is called detergent. I repeat, the chemical substance used to remove dirt stuck to the surface of the clothes, etc., and which does not harm the surface is called detergent. Chemically, detergents are sodium salts of organic sulfuric acids. In detergent, the functional group sodium sulfonate is attached to the hydrocarbon. Now, the cleansing action of soap and detergent. Soap and detergent molecules have two parts. One is the non-polar tail and the other is the polar head. Non-polar tail. The zigzag chain shown is a long chain of hydrocarbon which is called as the non-polar tail. The non-polar tail gets attached towards the dirt or grease, whereas it repels water. Polar head. The other part of the soap or detergent molecule is known as the polar head. It is a small part attached to the long chain of hydrocarbon. It is negatively charged and contains COONA group in soap and SO3Na in detergent. The polar head attracts water but repels dirt. Now, cleansing action. When the solution of the soap or detergent comes in contact with the dirt of the clothes, the polar tail gets attracted towards the dirt, while the polar head gets attracted towards water. Thus, the impurity in the form of dirt along with the polar tail is pulled towards water. Hence, the water becomes dirty and the dirt from the clothes gets removed. When soap is dissolved in the water, the soap molecules form rings which are known as micelles. This process is known as Mitchell formation. When the dirty clothes are put in the water, these micelles capture the dirt particles within these rings and suspend them in water. One more time, the cleansing action. When the solution of soap or detergent comes in contact with the dirt of the clothes, the polar tail gets attracted towards the dirt while the polar head gets attracted towards water. Thus, the impurity in the form of dirt along with the polar tail is pulled towards water. Hence, the water becomes dirty and the dirt from the clothes get removed. When soap is dissolved in the water, the soap molecules form rings which are known as micelles. This process is known as Mitchell formation. When the dirty clothes are put in the water, these micelles capture the dirt particles within their rings and suspend them in water.